So, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and they were talking about their son and how they couldn't get their son to do what they wanted them to do. And this particular father was very frustrated. And I asked him, I said, well, are you interested in really the life of your son? Are you interested in what he's doing, right? In what he enjoys and what he likes? And the father responded, well, I went with him to the bank to do something for him. And I asked him about getting a job and things like that. But I was like, that's not my question. My question is, are you interested in what your son is interested in? Because on the other hand, actually spoke with the son, and the son was sharing with me that um, whenever he spoke to his father about things that he wanted to do or things that he was interested in, the father would either make a face or would just totally kind of like ignore him or wouldn't try and engage his son in any way. And I had been talking to these two for quite some time about not making each other's enemy. So I told the father, I said, the last person that you would want to have as your enemy is your son. And I shared with this particular son, the last person that you would want as your enemy would be your father. So in this conversation, I'm listening to the dad or the father complain about how the son is not showing him what he wants to see as far as like being responsible and things like that. And at the same time, I'm also hearing that the father is not even trying to find out who this young man is as a 20 something year old. And I was like, you know what? That made me think of one of the Pauline letters. And I usually don't quote Paul because Paul gets on my nerves, right? But Paul, in his letter to the Colossians, said, "Fathers, do not exasperate your children." And this young man that I spoke with, I mean, when you talk about exasperated, that they would have the word exasperated and then his face like right next to the word. Um, and this is just a reminder that parents, as much as you love your children or as much as you say that you love your children, one of the ways that we show love to our children is not just by buying things for them, is not just by taking them 100,000 different places during the week as far as practices and things like that, but actually being interested in who they are as individuals, as people, as human. Because let me tell you something. If a child sees, and they grow up to be adults, as a child sees that you are interested in them as an individual, you can ask them anything later on. They would be happy to do things for you because they know that they are seen by you as an individual and not just a job. Because you know what? There's some parents that look at their children as a responsibility, but as a responsibility as a job and not a responsibility of love. So, as we travel on this journey of ta voix, not only as individuals and young adults, parents, I'm getting y'all too, because sometimes children need to be known that they are seen for who they are and not who you think they need to be. See y'all later. I had to share. Y'all have a great afternoon.